Hi, today I'm going to be talking about a game called War Thunder. I'm going to be talking through a couple of videos and dogfights I had, maybe some things I could have done better, some things that went well, some annoying things that happened in War Thunder. That's just part of the game. And I'm going to show a little bit about how expansive this game is and some of the different things you can do and some of the things this game has to offer. But mainly going to be focusing on dogfights today. I'm going to be playing at an 11.3 battle rating, which I'll try and explain the battle ratings here in a little bit when I show the tech tree and the nations. And hopefully it'll be good. Just, there's some good, there's some bad. So the first thing I want to do here is show the tech tree a little bit. These are what you kind of play towards, you play through, I guess. You start at the 1.0s or the reserves and go all the way down towards 13 now for planes and tanks. I think it's 11 or 12 or something like that. And you have to, as you can see here, some of them are redded out. You have to work your way through them by researching them, and that's just by playing the game. And you get rewards after the game for how well you do. And I just want to show how many nations there are and how many tanks and planes and boats, and you have the coastal fleet stuff. I don't really mess around in that area, but I usually do planes and sometimes tanks. But just how many nations, how much content this game does have to offer. Now, it does take a long time to actually get to like the bottom of these tech trees. That's hundreds of hours of gameplay, but it does have a lot of content, and each tank and plane is modeled really accurately, whether it's the historical ones or even the more modern ones as well. So it just has a lot to offer. So this is the plane you're going to be seeing throughout, I think, the whole video today. It's the F4E Phantom II. Now, this was a plane that the US designed and produced in first 1958, and then flew it for decades after, and other countries flew it for decades. It was for Vietnam. It had a huge multi-ground support role. Here I'm showing my loadout where it's mostly air-to-air combat missiles here, because that's what I'm doing here in this air realistic battle. But just all around one of my favorite aircraft of all time. So we're jumping right into a game here, and the first thing you're going to see me do is actually check the score, because I'm just trying to see the BR I'm in, so I can tell here that it's kind of an upper BR for me, which kind of means up tier, which kind of means these are going to be 12.0, maybe up to, there's not really 12.3, but it technically could be 12.3 because it's one full battle rating above or below what your vehicle that you're going into the game with is. And so that is a big distinction here for me in this specific plane, because in some BRs it's not that big of a deal. But here, because these planes are kind of on the verge of when tech was starting to really get good in planes. So you can see on my right side here, that big box is actually my radar. And on that left side, that's my RWR, which is radar warning. It's just basically telling me if other people's radars are pinging me, or if they get a lock on me. And so one distinction with that is you can see it says AI and PD. What made me so worried when I checked those that scoreboard for my team is that PD means pulse Doppler, and that is a more advanced radar than I have in my plane. That's what some 12.0 aircraft can carry, like the F4S and the F4J. You can see at the left there. Actually, the F4S is on screen too. Those both can have pulse Doppler radars, which don't really have ground as an interference. As you can see on my radar, it's very cloudy looking right now, and that's because it's called there's ground interference, and that's how a lot of radars worked in the 60s and when they were first developing them, before they kind of learned how to neutralize that by very smart people finding out how that works. I could get into that, but it's a little bit more complicated and I don't have enough time today. But that's why I'm staying so low. I'm trying to use this thing called multipathing, which is trying to stay below the missile's capable limit, so it will lose radar track before it actually hits me. So as you can see, I just locked up a target actually and fired my first missile off. I believe he did just die before my missile got there, so A little underwhelming, waste of a missile. But that triangle, or that square I mean around them, was a radar lock. That means don't want to get too nitty gritty here in the detail. Again, just going for a radar lock on him, and in this plane I can't radar lock people who are too close to the ground, and I got to be careful in this BR range, not getting too high, because that'll make me an easy target. But I'm flying around here, looking for targets. I'm trying to keep my head on a swivel. I'm able to get this. Man, it's just chaotic. I was able to get that Swedish plane locked up on radar, but I saw that my teammates' missiles are probably going to get there first. Didn't want to waste a missile on him. You do have, a limited amount of fuel, limited amount of missiles, limited amount of ammunition. Don't want to be wasting it. So here I can see an F-111 and this MiG-23, two MiG-23s here on the horizon, and this Jaguar. The Jaguar was at high altitude, so he took priority for me because I was able to get an easy radar lock and then flare and dodge that missile. It was just too high speed for that MiG-23 to head on. We see that missile was able to hit him, so I was able to now turn around and catch this MiG-23, who was actually kind of being a little oblivious to what was going on. Able to get him to lock up with my heat-seeking missile there, and then I was able to relock on this MiG-23, narrowly dodging him there in that head-on for a radar kill. I couldn't tell if that AIM-9J that I fired, which was a heat-seeking missile, was able to kill that MiG-23, or if one of my teammates' missiles got there first. This Su-25, again, he's flaring right there that you saw. Those are great for heat-seek missiles. You'll see me do that a couple times throughout this video. But in terms of dodging radar missiles, you have to take different maneuvers. There is chaff that he's deploying there probably, but that won't do enough in a lot of case scenarios. See this Harrier here. I was thinking that F4J was going to get him. I see this F4S there, but he looked like he was on fire or something. So I decided to go up for this Harrier here. Actually only had AIM-9Js left, so no radar missiles. You can see he fired a missile on me. I'm flaring, kind of turning, get out of the way, just kind of move around. I wasn't sure if it was a radar missile, is that why I was doing that, but I'm pretty sure that was an IR missile based on how it went for the flares. I fired a bad missile there, went for his flares and probably wasn't going to track anyways, so I had to switch guns. It was getting chaotic with a lot of teammates flying around. I probably should have been more aware here, looking around a little bit more, but I had so many friendlies in the area, I was pretty certain that that was going to be the last guy, and it was. So that AIM-9J that I fired earlier did not get a kill because I know that was a four kill game, and that was the fourth. So that was kind of a good game, kind of just flying around a lot. I wanted to use that game to kind of more explain a little bit what's going on. It's very complicated, but I want to also show you the reward system here, kind of how you rank up in the tech tree. These are, you get these research points and silver lines and stuff like that. But yeah, good game there, just a little bit chaotic, not much in strategy there, and that's really how the Phantom plays a lot. It's really just kind of staying fast and avoiding people. So jumping into another game here, we checked the scoreboard again and saw that our team was around probably like an 11.3, maybe 11.0 BR, around RBR, maybe a little bit lower, and so that lets us know that there's not going to be any pulse Doppler radars or any of the later radars. So that means I can get a little bit more altitude. I can give myself a little more air to move around in. This does come with some dangers, which you'll see here in a little bit. But knowing that difference in whether I'm allowed to be really at this altitude or I have to be on the deck is huge, and whether you'll just get basically killed every game or actually have fun. So that distinction is just very important to know, especially when you're playing a BR like this where that's critical. But one thing that being this high does allow for, it gives my radar, some room to see things. Now it's a cloudy day. I'm just checking the interior camera here because I love how the night kind of light works, and I just love how detailed this game is. But as you can see, my radar still has some fog on it. Those would be the clouds. That they did play a little bit of a role back then in radar, but you can see that ping, that line, that dash line, that one is an enemy with the dash, and then that friendly one was actually below it, the one with no dashes on the side. So I'm locking him up here, and I can see him on my RWR, and I actually can see now he just tracked and launched at me, if you saw the words track and launch. And so I have to notch this. Now, notching is how you defeat radar missiles, or one way you have to defeat radar missiles. And as you just heard, it went by me and it exploded. That is by breaking the missile's kind of radar lock by going parallel to it. It gets confused. Radars work by usually knowing how far a target is from it by how fast or how close it's coming towards it. So when you go parallel to it, it kind of confuses. It doesn't understand if you're going away from it or coming towards it. And especially with these earlier radars, they get confused. And so here are some examples of dogfights in the background in this game as well. We saw we went into that one circle, which means our noses are going together. You're going nose to nose with that plane before, but a friendly missile got him as well. And here we got friendlies around. We're chasing this F5, trying to get missile locks. A little dangerous with that friendly there, but I was pretty confident. Team kills are very frowned upon. There might be some examples of that later, not by me, but it's very frustrating, and people do have to be more aware of it. So I'm just chasing this guy, and I actually decided, let me look around a little bit. I'm slow airspeed in a big heavy plane. That F5 is a lot lighter than me. He's got me kind of where he wants him. I'm probably wrapping around, but you know what? I see these planes coming in. My plane was known for its speed and ability to get out of situations, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Situal awareness is key. Looking behind me, seeing that missile early, being able to flare it while keeping that afterburner on, so keeping that speed up is crucial to surviving in this game. Can't get locked in situations. I might show an example later in this video of me getting locked in a situation and dying for it. You want to take the dogfights, you want to have fun, but you gotta put survivability as the #1 important thing, and making sure that you don't just get caught out, because you're never going to give an enemy more of a free kill than if you're just not looking at him. So actually I'm going to end this video here, this clip here, because this guy just chases me for a little bit. I turn around the mountain. Once I get some distance, he actually gets picked off by a friendly, and not much more happens this game. But I just want to show an example of me dodging that missile using notching, and just give an example of some situational awareness. Actually, me having good situational awareness, which is not usual. So here I quickly want to show an example of getting a little too caught up in the furball. Here I was coming in with some speed. I wanted to take a dogfight. I'd already gotten 1 kill. I was feeling pretty confident, so I decided to take this fight. As you can see, we're in the 1 circle here, again, going nose to nose. He is definitely beating me here, and this, you can see by my spamming of flares and the fact that he's behind me. I had a little too much speed. He was able to bleed a little bit more speed than me and get behind me. I'm going way too slow now, and no situational awareness there. I just get torn apart, and then look at all these missiles just hitting me and the amount of people coming my way. That's just a little bit getting too caught up there. I was way too slow. I had no reason to be doing that. So, jumping into another game, I quickly noticed in this game that I saw a 10.3 aircraft when I was checking my team. So that means for me it was a full down tier. So a great opportunity for me to get a lot of kills here and have a lot of fun, as well as I know I can get some altitude here. There's going to be less planes with radar, maybe even a couple planes without RWR that won't even know I'm radar locked on them, or have fired a missile on them already. So just a good situation for me to be in. Game starts off pretty good here, and I want to keep this game relatively unedited because it was a very good game, and that ended in a very classic way. So, getting altitude here, looking around, keeping an eye on that RWR. This map is a shorter map where people often just rush the spawns based on how the layout is, So I know there's going to be planes coming in quick. I can tell that with that RWR. And I'm looking around again, checking the map. As you can see by where those spawns are, they're going to be, planes are going to be coming in quick. Looking at that radar, I noticed radar ping pretty close to me now. That's set to 46 kilometers, so I knew he was real close by how far that ping was. Saw him here, got a good lockup, was struggling to get there. MiG-21, that was actually the realistic opponent of this thing during Vietnam. He was not able to avoid that. Again, just saw it a little too late. Was able to lock up one behind him as well, so it was already one taken out. I'm a little worried, planes from under me, maybe shooting some IR missiles at me. You don't get a radar warning for that. So I just shot off, just let out a flare there. Now I just fired another AIM-7 Sparrow radar missile at this F5E, or at F5C, maybe F5C. The F5C is a premium version of the F5E, so usually the players in that aren't as skilled. And so he just eats that missile head on, sends him right back to the hangar. And then I see this Su-25 sitting down here. Now this game has been going great for me. I've been able to take out 2 targets with relative ease, no, not even really without them even noticing me. So I come down here though, I break off that Su-25 because he is really a ground attack aircraft. He's there to bomb bases, not really a threat to me. Easily kill I could have gotten, but I just didn't think I would want to go for him out of all these more dangerous targets. That's good target prioritization there. Wow. But just not who you want to be going for when there's these more deadly planes in the air. So I go for this Kfir. I see he's dropping flares. Able to get a good hit on him. Narrowly missed the ground. Hopefully I saved my teammate. I think my teammate actually did get killed right before I was able to kill him. But he ends up going down here in a second. He's struggling to stay in there. There we go. And then so I switched to this next Kfir. Again, keeping an eye out. Probably could have been looking around a little bit more. But I knew I had some friendlies in the area. A lot of the enemies were caught up in that furball back there, which is just, always chaos. So I started getting closer to him. Wanted to fire off missiles, see if he was really looking behind. He was. He flared it off. AIM-9Js are really susceptible to flares. I noticed I was catching him here, so I dropped my air brake a little bit and my speed. Was able to crit him, so I know he's going slow here. Just hit him and kind of pull off. No severe damage there, and severe damage is the indicator, but you'll really get the kill. But I did enough damage there, and he did end up crashing. So I have a good 4-kill game going right now. Got another Kfir in front of me here. These guys are just ending up in front of me. He's definitely distracted by these 2 other jets chasing him. That F4C, which is a little bit worse variant of the plane I'm in. A little bit lower on the tech tree, or I guess higher. This guy actually crashes, so he had some sustained some damage. So I switched to this F-104. F-104s are extremely fast, not very mobile. So I'm thinking I got a pretty easy kill here. Fire off a missile, didn't think he saw me. He actually flared it. So I'm thinking this is one of the last guys alive, so I'm just going to get locked into this dogfight here. A lot of teammates spraying around, it's just making me nervous here. Fire a missile, it's probably not the best with that teammate flying forward, but definitely not rear aspect. I hear missiles being fired way past me by teammates. I'm starting to get nervous, and then bam. After I got a hit too on this guy and probably slowing him down, teammate F4 behind me smokes me with a missile. Classic War Thunder. Almost let my emotions get the best of me in chat too, but I decided not to, and just went back to the hangar. So that's really gonna do it for today. I had a lot of fun making this video, yeah, I hope you learned something about dogfighting, or just playing combat, or just how radars work, anything. But yeah.